Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I really, really appreciate it. It's a delight to have your Chevet here today. And Ilana, I'm so enjoying this that you came. We had a good time yesterday night, so now we're back together again. It was a birthday party last night. Impromptu birthday party, yeah.
Mrs. Sidgman?
So we have Chaya here and Ilana and Yocheved and maybe Nechama will come, but we're starting on time, which is really good. I just want to go over a few things because if you're not used to these groups that we're having, whatever we're saying here remains confidential. It's not for sharing. And we want to keep this group so that people feel comfortable. If they want to share, you don't have to share. I just want to repeat, you don't have to share. You have to be very comfortable. If you want to share, you do. If you don't, you don't. I also want to say that there is a limited amount of time because I have to follow my schedule and we have to achieve a certain amount during the group. So when I give a person a chance to share or talk, it's going to be limited. So don't get aggravated if I interrupt you at some point, if you talk longer than we have in the schedule. Okay, just want to say that in advance. And I'm really, really happy that we're having this time together to work and to do the work that we're supposed to do all the time. And sometimes we don't know where to start. So here we go, we're gonna start. And the way we're gonna start first is by a little bit of a centering within ourselves so that we feel a little bit where we are, you know, in our chair straight. You might wanna close your eyes or relax. Just for right now, we're going to take, before we go into today's topic, just want you to relax a little bit, connect with your breath. And we are going to allow our breath to be our teacher here. Pay close attention to your breath, to its temperature, to its speed, to where it's coming from, where it's going. And notice how you inhale and exhale. And do this without changing it or forcing it or calculating anything. Just let it teach you as it flows in and out in its own unique way. And bring to mind a time where you have been very free, where you've been totally yourself, and where things were flowing and easy with the world around you. It could be any time within your life, from the time you were born to any time after. And if you don't have a time that you can think of, imagine there is such a time. Notice how you can connect the you that you are now with the you from that time where things were very free. Just by allowing yourself to appreciate this past self, you bring deep acceptance, connection, and a sense of knowing into the moment that you are now. Bring it into now. You may notice emotions, thoughts, or sensations. Just allow them, knowing that emotions are energy in motion. Emotions, they come, they go, just like the breath, and it has its own rhythm and depth. An emotion will land on you and then disappear and come back. Change. Sensation will feel one way, then move, or change. And thoughts also come and go. So see what happens when you were there at that time, that place where everything felt so good. Now allow yourself to relax a little more with each breath. As you inhale that moment where you felt so good, and exhale anything that you don't want. Bring to mind yourself right now and yourself in the past who felt very free, authentic, easy, and in flow. And bring to mind the support of our group tonight and just take in all the different connections that can happen for you at once. The you who were in a flow state, the you of today, the group and the support we're having together. Connect through memories, Connect through your body, your sensation, your feelings, through your breath, through the different times. Connect with your emotions without judgment, without pushing it away, and connect with your inner truth. Take a deep breath. Come back. That's one of the things that I should have said. No problem. And I'm sorry about me being the one that had it ring. All right, now while we're enjoying our tea here and being cozy, I want to first of all introduce everybody. Yocheved, do you know everybody? You just introduce yourself. Ilana, do you know everybody? Yes, okay. Everybody has their name tag. Everybody's here. Everybody's familiar. Okay. Chaya is a teacher. Yocheved, what do you do now?
I do accounting work.
Accounting work. All right. And you work mainly on the computer?
Yeah, on the computer.
You work remote?
Remote, yeah.
Okay. And Ilana, what do you do?
I do gardening, patios, and a little bit volunteer work too.
Beautiful. I think that Ilana with the gardening and things going to have a lot of thoughts about growing and, you know, clearing things, because when you garden, you do a lot of this work that we're supposed to do in our own soul garden, right? Of cleaning, arranging, planting. So it's the similar work. It's very, very beautiful work. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do today is just share your intention in being here. I'm gonna start sharing my intention with you. My intention tonight is to go through the 9 stages that we're going to go in this structured session, and to bring to you and my friends the best that I can bring you, something that is going to help you. I don't know what's going to come out. We never know what's going to come out of a session, but my intention is that it should be either a discovery or an increase in knowledge for you. All right? Anybody would like to share the intention? Why you're here tonight? What do you expect? What would you like to happen?
I just
Why
came
you
to
came?
learn. I
You
really
came to
didn't have any
learn.
expectation.
Okay, but you came with the intention to learn. That's the intention. Beautiful. Okay, Ilana?
You said something about we talked about it last night about just helping someone to identify where they are right now, and to see how they can achieve their goals.
So to identify where you are now,
Right.
and so that's for now, and then a goal for the future where you want to reach. Beautiful, beautiful. If you don't know where you are, you can't get there. You know what they say? If you don't know where you start from, if you like the GPS, right? The GPS, if you don't tell you where you're coming from, it doesn't tell you how to get there, right? So you have to always start with where you are, getting to know where you are, and then going to the place you want to be. Beautiful. Chaya?
Also just to learn.
To learn something new about what?
Hopefully about myself.
I'm glad that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. The truth is that we're bombarded with information, and the information is coming from everywhere. And it's interesting that, you know, they used to say people went to know what's happening on the moon, but they can't figure out how to figure out what's happening on Earth. you know, and so we're bombarded with information about everything, and the least that we know about is ourselves, you know, how we function, how we, you know, what we want, who we are, and all that. So very nice, very nice. All right, so before I'm gonna give you a little bit of you know, something to write on later, but I just want to introduce the topic today. And if you want, do you want to pass this time? Everybody should have one. Everybody has a pen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. So this, you just can take it, but if you want for right now, just take it in the back where it's an empty page. If you want to take notes, you don't have to take note right now. I'm just going to present the topic. All right. And later on, we'll work on the little notes. So I want to ask you, when I was telling the tissues on the table, would you like a tissue? It's okay. It's okay. Don't talk. Take it
Like
easy.
it's into the little piece of cup.
Just went down the wrong way. Sorry.
Ah, yeah. All right, all better? Okay. So as I was saying in the centering work that we did just before, did you ever feel like you were in a place where things were going exactly the way they should be? And you felt like things, this is how you are, this is your true self. Did you ever feel that?
Maybe 40 years ago.
40 years ago is fine.
At least you did. I don't think I ever.
So that's why if you don't think you ever did, then that's why I said imagine what it would be like to be in such a state. All right, because sometimes we have a hard time figuring out when this happened or where we were and imagining ourselves back, and so we have to figure out, like, this is how we would want to feel. Yocheved, did you ever experience that?
I'm sure I have it. I don't have a conscious awareness of it.
So like that's what I'd like you to work on now, to figure out a time when it happened, or figure out what it would be like to be in that state when things are just going well. And it doesn't mean that everything is perfectly fine around you, but inside of yourself, you feel like things are going the way you really are. No, you're not supposed to write. I just want you to remember a time. If you want to write, you write. But you imagine a time where everything is the way it's supposed to be, according to how you would like to feel. Sometimes I was thinking to myself this afternoon, how would it be like, for they say, the nicest day of a girl's life is their wedding, or or for the parents when they bring their children to the ceremony. And then I thought to myself, usually these days are so tense. They're so tense. There's always this one happening, and this one is late, and that one is not ready, and who knows what, and a lot of family pressure. So I said to myself, that's not a good thing to think. I mean, sometimes for some people it might be, but sometimes it's a lot of pressure. So it could be just, a day when you were walking on the beach and the weather was great and you felt good and you didn't have to think about, what you have to do in the next hour. Sometimes the little things in life bring you in a state where you feel good. It doesn't have to be the big event where there's all this stress, and the caterer and this one and that one. It could be like just a simple thing, like you take a walk with the kids, or, you just, went and shop and bought yourself something new and you feel good. Just imagine a time where things were in the flow, like you pick the dress, it's the right colors, the right size, the right price, and things are just the way it should be, you know? So I don't know which event or which time it rings a bell for you, but I want you to experience this thing. So when you experience this flow where things are just, oh my gosh, I'm looking for this, and here I am, I pick it up, and here it goes. It's a state of being that is called being in the flow. Or like, you know, you try to do something and you think it's not going to work, and oh, magic, it's just working just fine. And so you feel like, yeah, this is how it should be. And when we are experiencing life like that, when things are in the flow, we are in a mode of being that we are true self. So there is a big difference between the time when you feel real, you feel alive, you feel your authentic self. And when I say your authentic self, it doesn't have to be everything is pink and rosy and happy. Okay, I don't mean that. I mean, you feel like this is you, this is who you are, and you relate to that moment as this is you totally feeling yourself, true self, your authentic self. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you're in a situation where apparently, according to what you see outside, things are great, but you feel something is missing. So I'm not talking about the events that are happening around you. I'm talking about how you feel.
It's more a state of mind.
A state of being, right. Right. Like somebody who, I just don't know if I should give that example, but I'm going to give it. Somebody who's a drama queen, you know, she needs to have that drama, that excitement, that this is how she craves. She craves the attention, she craves the high and low, and she craves the excitement. When things are just quiet, everything is fine. She has nothing to complain about, but she's not in a state of flow because there's no drama. You know what? I don't know if I should bring that example, but everybody has their state of being where they really feel good about themselves. So everybody is very different. And there's something that you'll notice makes you feel authentic. Maybe for you is when you garden. Maybe for you, it is when you're doing something, I don't know what, you know.
Always taking care of your children.
I don't know, you know. But it's
Mm-hmm.
something not that you have to do. It's something that you want to do because this is what makes you feel good. And Raya, the same thing, right? We talked last time about when we're introvert, extrovert, when we are, you know, with people, does it feel good, or that do we like it better when we're alone and thinking about, you know, reading or thinking about whatever we feel like thinking about. So some people, for example, are energized when they're in a team. There's a lot of people around that gives them energy. Some people, they like to be alone. They like to analyze things. Sometimes it's data. Sometimes it's putting back a computer from pieces into a new computer. They like to put things together or analyze things. Some people, you give them spreadsheets, like you give them a pile of data, and they read it and eat it up like it's candy. You know what I'm saying? And some people, you know, they don't feel comfortable with that. They want just to be with people. So everybody's different. Some people very intellectual, and when they think about it, you know, big marasuga and intellectual, the thinking and discussion, this and that, they feel energized. And some people, when they're energized, they just want to be cozy, holding hands with the little baby or with the, you know, mother, who knows what, right? So everybody has their own moment when they really feel like this is where they feel the best. And this is what we call a mode of being. So, and there's different things. Like I remember a lady who was offered a job Her husband wanted her, she wanted to have a job. Her husband went to somebody and said, listen, I would like you to give my wife a job. He had a connection. Give my wife a job, easy. She doesn't have to work too hard. Like, you know, receptionist, every once in a while you answer the phone, no big deal. Okay. And she was so that's what he wanted for her. But she was the kind of person that so much wanted to give and take care of other people. She didn't see herself behind the desk. She had done that in her life. She knew exactly how to do it. It's not she was not capable of doing it. She wanted to be with people. It was in the nursing home. She wanted to be able to hug the people, to give them attention, to give them love. And that was a much harder thing because you're dealing with people with dementia, right? So it's a much harder job. But that's how she felt like this is her calling. This is how she feels good. This is when she's going to be in a state of being that is authentic to herself as a giver, as a nurturer. So, and on the other hand, you have sometimes a person who is an excellent, let's say, a teacher, fantastic teacher. The kids, you know, they eat in the palm of his hands and he's got no problem. He feeds them the information, they learn well, they're happy, everything is great. And then he gets promoted in administrative position. He has no more contact with the kids practically. So how does he feel? You know, maybe he has a better pay, but he's the thing that he's really good and thrives on is not in his hands anymore. So we all have our mode of being that is important for us. And when we are not using this mode of being that is our favorite, and or else, I mean, I'm not saying that we have to have it all the time, you know, all the time, but at least that it's often enough. We may feel like, you know, frustrated. Okay. So for example, I remember being when I was younger, I was dreaming a lot, reading a lot, like thinking like I could, when I was little, I'd sit on the bed and watch the reflection of the car passing by with the lights. I was okay with that, you know? And then all of a sudden you go into a mode of what you have to do. And it's nonstop doing, and you don't have time to think and daydream anymore. So then you get frustrated and you don't even know you get frustrated. You just think, okay, I'm being a good mother, I'm doing a lot of good things, but you don't know why you're getting frustrated. This is because your mode of being that is essential part of you is not being given a chance to be there, right? So when we inquire and we're getting in touch with who we really are and not what we've been wanting to be. Also, don't forget, I remember the story of this guy. He was told by the family, there was a lot of pressure on him that he's going to be a doctor. So he went to medical school and he made a calendar in front of his desk of how many days of all the years, days, okay? He made a chart like that with the days. And every day, cross one day. And the final day arrived that he's getting his diploma. He goes, gets his diploma, and he said he realized that he never wanted to be a doctor. So, you know, sometimes we have to let our true self shine and be there independently of what other people want us to be, okay? And so, and this very often happened, like, I was thinking to myself, you know, how, you know, the boys and girls, they're friends and this and that, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm not talking in our circles, but very often you go and then they have to have a girlfriend or they have to have a boyfriend because everybody else does. So if I don't have it, I'm just not going to look like normal. And the truth is that they themselves don't care about it, but they're doing it because of peer pressure. So that doesn't feel authentic. It's not going to bring them happiness. So when we believe we have an ability to be true to ourselves, to be true to our soul, to be true to who we are, and when we have that, we're able to function much better and have a much better life and a better experience. So many of us actually, we get stuck in wanting to change ourselves. So let's say somebody is okay, I should not be doing XYZ. Okay, so now I have to fight this. I have to change. I have to get rid of this, issue that I have. It could be anything. You can put XYZ, any kind of issue you have. And then you fight it, you fight it, you fight it. And what I found out is like it's much easier to really deep go into ourselves, figure out who we are, and increase the things that make us feel good. Instead of fighting the things we don't want us to be, we have to increase the thing that we do want to be. Okay? For example, somebody says, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry. They get angry very easily. And they know that's not a good idea. But they every time they see the anger comes up, they push it down, push it down, push it down. I shouldn't be angry. And they keep quiet. And then it builds up even more inside of them. So instead of pushing down the thing that we don't want to be, what we have to do is increase the thing that we are automatically and naturally from our inner soul. And then when we are increasing our natural propensity, then that will bring us and elevate everything else with the rest. So so this is what we want. We want to be more in a state of flow, be authentic to our soul, and align to who we really are. So what we're going to do now is explore our modes of being, and we're going to step back into ourselves and step back into that part of you that makes you feel you're in flow. And I don't know what it is, which each person is different. So when we do that, there has an advantage. In other words, when you go in your state of flow, you don't have to change, let's say, your career. You don't have to change your family. You don't have to change things. You just have to bring more of who you are. All right? Let's say somebody is a teacher and they get very aggravated in their classroom because they have to do discipline and they don't like to do discipline. They'd rather have fun, so forth and so on. So
You read my paper?
no. No, I didn't read your paper. No, but I'm thinking about this because it happens so often. So, because you have the pressure, from the curriculum, you have to accomplish a certain amount and you have to do this and the kids have to behave a certain way. So always like a lot of pressure from the parents, from the principals, from yourself also, And so what you want to do more is bring your inner being, your mode of being that is the most beneficial, and bring it more into what you're doing. All right. All right. So let's do this little exploration and understand. So now you can turn to the front page. And this is just like, description of a few modes of being. So some people are observers, some people are creative. So somebody who is creative, they could be creative in accounting. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't figure out, how am I going to save money for my clients? Or how am I going to position this in the spreadsheet so that it's easier? You can use creativity everywhere. You don't have to be an artist to be creative. So here's the list. Who would like to read a little bit about the list so we can?
I think we have another thing.
No, you have the list here. This is the list.
No, but I didn't give them this one. I gave them the other one.
Oh,
that says
okay, all right.
journal.
Everybody has the same one?
I gave them the journal one.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
this one that says exploration, you have it?
Now I have
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the one we're doing. Okay, not this one, not this one.
This one doesn't have a list.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the list. Here we go. I know why I didn't put the list because it was a whole paper and I want you to come up with your own. It's okay.
No, that's not
We're
it.
gonna, it's okay. Don't forget about the paper right now. We're gonna just jot down. I wanna ask you what, and you can have more than one mode of being. You don't have to have just one. We can have many as 20. I don't know which one. So let's say you are a connector. All right, that's an example. Are you a connector? Are you the kind of person like, you know, you see someone right away, you make friends with them? Are you a creative? You always figure out a different way of doing things, a new way. Like I said, doesn't have to be with art. Creative could be, how am I going to educate my kids? And you can be creative in that. Or how can I figure out a new way of designing a garden? Creativity can be anywhere, all right? Are you a problem solver? A lot of people are problem solvers. You talk to them, they're gonna fix you. They're gonna tell you what to do to fix the problem. You there talking about your emotion and they're gonna tell you how not to get that emotion. That's a problem solver. Are you a critical thinker? You analyze everything. You figure out everything. Are you an explorer? You're always looking for new things, whether it's in food or traveling or ideas. Are you a free spirit? Free spirit, they do whatever they feel on the moment, whatever happens to be. Are you a joker, making joke all the time, having fun? Are you a truth teller? You tell yourself, being sometimes critical about yourself, and you're also telling people what you think about them. Are you a nurturer, taking care of people, maternal caregiver? Are you a leader? Are you a supporter? Sometimes people feel very good in supportive role. What they have for the actresses, supporting actress. The supporting actress sometimes like the most interesting person in the thing. Anyway, some people are happy to be a supporter. They're not there in charge, but tell me how to set the table and I'll do it for you, okay? Are you a mobilizer? Are you a peaceful one? Always bringing everybody to quiet. Are you the kind of person who is a healer? Are you a fixer? Are you a historian? Are you a person who is always balancing things, making them very smooth? And you can have your own. I'd like to go to that page where it says journal and list what you think your authentic modes of being are. At the moment. What I mean at the moment, right now, in that stage in life. You could come up with a lot of different things. You don't have to follow that list, really not. There's so many different things that you can find. The first thing you have to know is how do you feel? Are you a peacemaker? You're a person that likes to help quietly in the background? Are you a person that wants center stage? Are you the actor? Are you the learner? And again, if you have, if it doesn't come up to you, think about how it would be for you to be at the very best. If you'd be at your very best, what would be you, your mode of being? When things are on the flow, everything is fine. If you had a magic wand and everything is like just perfect. Ilana, you found some mode of being? You found some mode of being when you're in a state of flow?
Yeah, a few I can relate
Yes.
to.
Yes. But you can have your own. I mean, the one that I just told you are just examples, but you can make up your own completely. Could be the gardener. That maybe you're at your best when you garden and taking care or whatever. Could be anything. Huh? Yes, yes, yes. When you're taking care of your garden, you know you're in flow. You heard that you found? Yeah. Think about when everything is great, like Tasha has arrived and everything is perfect, then what is it that you are at this point? Are you the driver? Are you the passenger? I love being driven. Some people enjoy driving.
At night, it's very driving at night. Never used to be.
So every time that you're in a mode of being, like for me, my mode of being is to be the passenger because I don't enjoy driving. But there's some people, they enjoy the driving, this leading, this, I'm in control, and that's the mode of being. And some people, believe it or not, they enjoy driving for no reason, just for the sake of driving.
I used to love it.
Just driving. So if you used to love it, that's one of your mode of being. So what we're going to do now, which is interesting, is your mode of being. Because sometimes, we're at different stage in life, we're in different modes, right? So as a child, you might have been a peacemaker, but then when you became a teenager, you're big rebellion. So and or maybe like when you were a child, you were busy doing things, and then when you grew up later, you're busy just not doing things but looking around and see what's going on. So as an observer, so you may decide which mode of being is what we want to do is, what was your mode of being when you were little? Like, I don't remember when I was little too much, but my aunt said to me, you were dancing all the time. In your high chair, you kept dancing and people would clap and I just kept on dancing the whole meal. So obviously there's something, because I still love dance. But even when I was little, I liked to dance. The problem is I had a dance teacher always corrected me that my hands were not positioned right. And my whole life, I'm thinking, I'm not putting my hands right. So I have a hard time with the dancing. But then I learned flamenco and I learned to move my hand. And that freed me from this, strict thing. So different times in our life, we enjoy something and then we recover it later on. So dancing, I liked it, but then somebody told me this is not right. So like kind of going back, then later on, teenager, I went back to dancing again. So different times. So when you were little, what was your mode of being? That as far as you can remember?
Yeah, 0 to 5, I don't remember.
You don't remember.
My mother told me I was to play. She said,
Okay, so here you go. Here you go. Your mother told you you like to play, so probably that's what you enjoy. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now and do the next recording. Just a second.